Good morning. It's day 3 of the Pepin's Laura's Day trip 2012, and I'm afraid I have been burning a little daylight again because it's about 9:30, but I was finishing up editing the video. I wanted to get yesterday's videos up before we started today's, and I got the first 2 completely uploaded now and the third one edited, but I'm not going to hang around in here waiting for it to finish processing, so you'll have to wait a little bit for that one. I'm going to be doing Sailing Lake Pepin about 12:20, and the one good thing about taking it a little slower this morning is there isn't a lot going on as far as activities or things that are open before 10 o'clock on Sunday for the Laura Days. The museum isn't open, they aren't doing the stuff at the cabin yet, and where I normally go is spend some time at the lake, and since I'm doing that at noon, not a lot of reason to do that. So I'm all packed. I'm going to carry stuff out, and then I'm going to go have some breakfast, and we'll see you then. Oh, and in honor of Laura Days, my Laura shirt today is one of my favorite Pepin shirts. A lot of my favorite shirts are from Pepin, actually, but this is one using the design of that they use at the quilts, and I think we will meet the lady who designed it there, and if not, you saw her on the Laura Palooza 2012 video. Things are quietly getting started today. They do have a church service here first thing in the morning. There's a pancake breakfast over at the school, and the vendors are starting to get things go rolling, and it is just a little after 10. I should mention, in case you didn't know, there are modern bathrooms available for the public right next to the Depot Museum, right next to the Laura Ingalls Wilder Park sign. Time for breakfast. Breakfast is served. And it looks like they've recovered from the wind and the party last night. So I'm gonna go down and say goodbye to a couple people, and then I'm heading out to the cabin.
He would take them on his knees.
I like to listen to Little House in the Big Woods while I'm driving around during Laura Days.
His eyes were blue and
on the second turn heading out into the cabin, you'll come across a cemetery. Now pull in and then immediately turn right. And down here on Pine Street, which they have it nicely marked out for you, is Anna Berry's grave. Go straight ahead a little further and you'll find the Carpenters, who are relatives of Laura's. Before we leave the cemetery, I just want to point out these coulees, which are a geographical formation that were left behind when the last glaciers came through this area. And while most of the land around here and around Laura's cabin has been cleared for agricultural purposes, the coulees and various pieces of land along the water didn't make very good farmland and were left as timber. So you can still see these sort of remnants of what was once the big woods. As you can see how thick the trees are on these mountains, it used to be that they were that thick all through this area where we're now standing. You can still see the remnants a little bit closer up. I've got a couple places where I like to turn off, but basically any time between you're heading from town and you make it to the cabin, just kind of look for a gravel road where there's kind of trees at the beginning, and you will probably get to a remnant of the big woods. Lakeport Road, which is on the left-hand side as you're driving up, is one good example of these roads where you can go and find a little bit of the big woods. This is a patch of forest that's up here, and I think it should at least give you sort of the feeling of what the big woods was like when Laura was here. Now, I haven't done as much work here with how the forest patterns have shifted over time, because what happens to them as far as how they're used, as far as people, as far as animals, can shift things. Like it might have been that there wasn't this much undergrowth there, or it might have been that they were a different type of trees, or if there was been fire through a particular area, hardwoods can be replaced by softwoods. And frankly, I need to talk to somebody about that because I don't know enough about it here in Wisconsin. I've actually done more research on how things changed around Rocky Ridge Farm and how that landscape was impacted. But as I say, basically this gives you an idea of what the big woods was like. You just get the feeling that it's just going to go on forever and that the 7 miles will never end. Sometime when I can get a partner, because really I don't think it's probably anything anybody ought to try on their own, I really want to walk the 7 miles from Pepin to town, but that's not going to happen this trip. It really is some lovely landscape. And it's a good thing they have some reassuring signs, because it really does just feel like it takes forever. All along the route you'll see and miss a creek called Lost Creek. Sometimes it goes underground and that's where it gets its name. You'll also see this lovely schoolhouse. This is the Lost Creek School. It's now a private residence. It is not Berry Corner School where Laura attended, although a lot of people see it and assume that it is. Now eventually you're going to see this farm with the lovely red buildings and the dairy cows on the left. When you see that, you're going to be coming up to a junction for when this county road Y's with another one. Right at this corner was Barry's Corner, named because the people who owned this farm was named Barry, and the school, which is no longer standing, was located near this farm.